Is it? All right. Yeah.
All right, thank you all for coming. So, how many of you have ever thought about writing a book before? Awesome, a couple of you. I love storytelling, and growing up, I used to tell stories to my little brother all the time, especially when we were playing with Legos or Playmobil. It was good. But it wasn't until high school, really, that I started thinking about writing my own book. A friend of mine told me about NaNoWriMo, which is short for National Novel Writing Month. And basically, it's an event where people write a 50,000 word novel during the month of November. I tried it out and I really enjoyed it, and since then I've been hooked on writing books. And a quote that stayed with me is one by Maya Angelou, in which she said, "There's no greater agony than bearing an untold story inside of you." Everyone has a story to tell, and that's why I believe that everyone should write a book in their lifetime. The lessons I've learned from writing novels are invaluable to me. I've grown so much as a person, and that's why I'm here talking to you about it. And hopefully you can see why you should start writing your own book too. The majority of what I'm going to talk to you about is mostly about the personal benefits of writing, such as learning, creativity, and personal growth, but there's also some benefits to society. One such benefit to society is that by writing a book, you're adding to the culture and becoming a part of the community of storytellers. Storytelling is central to societies and cultures around the world. In recent years, we might have seen a decrease in reading physical books, with statistics saying that 42% of college grads never read a book after graduation, but storytelling is alive and well in other parts of our culture. In business specifically, advertisers use storytelling all the time, and it's often ads that use storytelling that are the most memorable. Luckily, with the rise of e-readers and reading on mobile devices, even books are making a comeback. Books also add more to the knowledge of society. They let us escape to another world. They teach us how to do calculus. They give us a glimpse into the lives of other people. They do all kinds of things. In short, books are central to modern society. Don't let anyone tell you that they're going out of style. By writing a book, you're adding your own thoughts, knowledge, and expertise into the great pool of human understanding. You help society advance in a small way. It might seem like one more book in the sea of literature won't do much, but that kind of thinking gets nothing done. Everyone has a story to tell, like I said. You never know how much your story can impact another. Neil Gaiman, a famous British author, said that books are a way of communicating with the dead, the way that we learn lessons from those who are no longer with us. The humanity that humanity has built on itself, progressed, made knowledge incremental rather than something that has to be relearned over and over. Books do amazing things. Let's back up though. Before your book can make an impact on anyone, it makes an impact on you. There are a lot of things that go into writing a book, and through that process, there's a lot of learning involved. Inevitably, no matter how much you know, you will have to do research for your novel. A good book will be realistic as much as possible, and to do that, you need to know what things are like in the real world. Perhaps you want to learn about winters in northern Canada, or about medieval siege weapons, or whatever it is. The kind of story you're telling will dictate the kind of research you're doing. Whatever you want to write about, you'll come away a smarter person afterwards for doing the research. And another kind of learning that you'll do is learning about human nature. Characters are central to plots. Like I mentioned before, a good book is realistic, and that applies to characters as well. Realistic characters have depth to their personality. They have desires and motivations, flaws and talents, emotions, presuppositions. A character that is unrealistic and unrelatable in any way is boring. Readers won't want to read a book with characters like that. So it's the writer's job to infuse human nature into their characters, and requires an understanding of what people are fundamentally like. Learning what makes us human helps you to better understand yourself and the reasons you do things, as well as the reasons why others do things. It allows us to go deeper in relationships and appreciate the way God made us. Along with your research into details in human nature, you learn through writing a book how to persevere. To be honest, writing a book's not easy. It can be difficult at times, but in the end, it's worth the struggle. Along the way, you learn how to overcome every obstacle. Sometimes you run into writer's block, you have to get through some boring research. Whatever it is, if you can get past that, you can accomplish anything. And with this, the bane of many writers, including myself, is editing. I'm not a fan of it, and it can be time consuming. But once I do it though, I feel much better about my writing. But if I push through it, that accomplishment feels great. Writing, and especially editing, has another benefit as well. They help you a lot with your communication and English skills. You learn what best words to use for certain things, how to write simple, complex, compound sentences, how to briefly describe in a situation effectively. You learn a lot. And these skills help you no matter what profession you have. A good way to improve your writing skills, and something that many authors recommend, is really reading more. Reading gives you exposure to how others write and what works in writing, and so it's an important part of the research process. Besides helping your writing though, reading does a lot for you. In a recent study from Yale, they found that people who read live a lot longer than people who don't read. And more than that, reading also helps with success. Warren Buffett, one of the richest men on earth, says that he reads over 80% a day. This is common among the ultra-rich people as well, so obviously there's a connection between reading and success. Sorry. Besides all the learning you do and those benefits, writing also helps you grow as a person. I mentioned earlier that it gives you a better understanding of human nature, and that helps in your relationships. But on top of that, writing a book, you discover that you have a voice. Many of us desire to make some kind of impact on the world, and writing is a way to do that. Once you understand that, you develop more confidence in yourself as well. It's possible that your voice could have an impact on the world and benefit other people. Books don't just help the writer, they help the reader a lot as well. People identify with books. They learn about life through books. It helps them be imaginative and learn how to be empathetic. Readers can live vicariously through characters in books and deal with situations that they couldn't process in real life. This is one of my favorite reasons to write. I want to make a difference and help others because books have had such an impact on my life. Yet another benefit to writing, and this is dependent on if you actually publish a book, is that you become more credible in your field. People will look to you as someone who knows what they're talking about. And this only occurs at the end of the process though. But if you have gone through everything and published a book, then you have probably learned a lot on the way there. And if nothing else I've said has convinced you to write a book so far, writing itself is therapeutic. It gives you a creative outlet in which you can do pretty much anything you want. It's like a giant sandbox. Having that creative outlet is extremely important. Even if you aren't a creative person, expressing yourself can help you process emotion in ways that you wouldn't be able to otherwise. And for people with depression, having a creative outlet like writing, it helps in the creative recovery process. So even if you never get published, or even if you never finish a book, I hope that you can see that writing is good for you on so many different levels, and I've only scratched the surface of the benefits. There's so many things to be discovered during the process. I hope you aren't discouraged at all by how much I mentioned goes into books. Instead, you should see how much of an impact you can have. Not only do you learn more about yourself and develop positive traits such as perseverance, you also learn more about humanity and what it means to be human. This is why everyone should at least try to write a book in your lifetime. Trust me, it's worth it. Thank you.